What up, y'all? Baby Bonez here with another video, and this is a shot that I hit the other day, and it's the accumulation of over 3,000 hours of Rocket League. Hundreds of hours grinding ranked in free play, custom training, queuing with friends, you name it, I've done it. But 500 of these 3,000 hours were wasted. They were wasted because I was playing with suboptimal binds. These bindings hindered my play, and I had to relearn mechanics once I switched to better binds. So don't make the same mistake I did. Switch your bindings as soon as possible. Now, as far as what you should switch them to and why you should switch them, that has a long answer that the rest of this video is going to cover. This being said, the short answer is appearing on screen right now. Most people bindings will look something like these two. I actually used the bindings on the bottom. So if you just wanted to steal some bindings and leave, there you go. But for those of you who actually want to learn about bindings, the different options, and the tips and tricks, the rest of this video is for you. So I will briefly go over the two sets of bindings, the positives and the negatives of each, how to use the bindings optimally, and finally clear up some of the variation with where you should be binding power slide, air roll, and directional air roll. And as always guys, if you find this video or any of my videos helpful, please make sure to click on that subscribe button down below. Helps me out a ton, and I really appreciate those of you who have already subbed. Alright, let's hop into it. As I stated in the intro, the main difference between these two settings is where boost is bound. So the first school, which I will call default from this point on, has boost on B or circle, and the second school, which I will refer to as claw, has boost on right bumper or R1. So the main negative of using default boost is fat fingering. Fat fingering is basically hitting multiple buttons at the same time with your thumb, right? So if you went to boost and jump at the same time, you have to hit circle and X at the same time. Let alone if you have your air roll and power slide on square, then you may be pressing 3 buttons all at one time. Kind of awkward, but hey, plenty of pros use this binding, so have fun mashing buttons if this for you, and that's why I personally use claw bindings. But that is going to bring us to the negative of claw bindings, and I know some people use claw to describe other ways of holding the controller, but what I'm referring to is index fingers on the bumpers and middle fingers on the triggers. So now if you want to jump and boost, you press RB and X or A. So you don't have to fat finger, but you do have to hold the controller differently. It can be a little awkward if you've never done it before. However, I find it less awkward than trying to smash 4 buttons with my thumb. But then again, I do eat microwave taquitos all day and go to bed at 4 AM every night. So maybe I'm the weirdo. And by the way guys, I do recommend holding the controller in this claw grip, even if you use default boost binds, just so you can utilize the bumpers and triggers simultaneously. So yeah, whichever boost bind feels best for you, go for it. But we know you're picking RB. We know you're picking that claw grip. Okay, so this next part is a nice little sweet reward for those of you who stayed after the intro. So this is a pro tip, and it is to bind air roll and power slide on the same button. Most people do this on LB. Now this is so effective because when you recover with air roll and land, you will already be holding power slide. So you recover very effectively. Also, it's a big brain move because you put an aerial mechanic and a ground mechanic on the same bind, so you're saving space for other binds. A lot of people will leave power slide on square or X and just bind air roll there as well. Again, if you aren't holding claw, then it's kind of hard to do because you can't push left bumper and left trigger at the same time. I don't know. It doesn't matter where you bind it. I just recommend binding them both together. Okay guys, so I gave you that sweet little reward for staying, so why don't you reward me with pressing that subscribe button? Huh? Seems fair to me. Sancho, does that seem fair? Yep. He has to agree. I pay him money. Yes, directional air roll, my favorite. If you have the claw bindings like myself, I recommend you put air roll left on square, and since circle is still free, throw air roll right on there just in case you want to do a half flip adjustment or just a tiny slight adjustment. And if you don't know how to use directional arrow, I have plenty of videos on my channel. Just by the way, check them out. However, guys, if you have those creepy default binds, you might have to fat finger 3 buttons now if you put it on square. So you might want to just throw directional arrow onto RB or any other unused binding that you have. Okay guys, the last thing I want to stress to you about bindings is that they are pretty much entirely preference based, right? You could switch all your bindings around, and as long as it doesn't hinder performance, you will be fine. Like Rizzo, one of the most successful pros in Rocket League, has his gas and reverse tied to his left stick. I know players who use both bumpers for arrow left and right. So again, what I'm suggesting to you are just optimal bindings that a lot of people use and a lot of people find successful, but they are just suggestions. So feel free to play around and try some of your own bindings out. So in conclusion, put boost on RB or B/circle. You'll have to fat finger or hold the controller claw. Next, you want your air roll and power slide bound onto the same button, and that button will most likely be LB. Directional air roll should be placed on square or X for claw and on bumper for default. Finally, just make sure that your bindings don't hinder any mechanics you want to perform. So that should be everything you'll need to know to get the best bindings in 2020. If this video helped you out, please make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video and what videos you want to see in the future. And if you want to reach out to me, my socials are in the description, including my Twitch, Discord, and Instagram. Come vibe with me, y'all. And yeah, have a good day or night for all those who watch YouTube in the night, I guess.